The Vera Time Show. The Vera Time Show. The Vera Time Show. The Vera Time Show. Let's talk about it. 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 On the Vera Time Show. Let's talk about it. Yeah.
And I'm so excited about this building. This building is for you, your family, children between the ages of 5 and 18. We have all programs for these children. But the building is what I want you to know. Come and have a tour with us. I would love to see you and welcome you into our new home. Thank you. With this incredible new center, we've also been blessed with the exciting challenge of growth. More students than ever. We're eager to join our programs. More classes and workshops are being offered, from music and dance to art and media production. We've added new staff, new instruments, and more opportunities to engage our youth. But with growth comes greater responsibility. We have additional rooms to maintain, materials to provide, and students to support. This is where you come in. To continue serving our students at this high level, we are launching a 1,000 Squares to Grow campaign. The cost of each square is $100 and represents a piece of our facility. Whether it's a classroom, studio, an instrument, or even the dance floor our students practice on every day. By donating one or more squares, you'll be directly contributing to the programs that make a difference in our students' lives. You're helping to build futures filled with opportunity.
I am enrichment. I am healthy. I am enrichment. I am
Hello, and hello. Looks like I'm having a little bit of technical difficulty here, but I am so glad that you are here to join us. And I am so very excited about
Wednesdays, we have the 5 to 8 year olds.
Betty.
And they're in the garden.
Yes,
and they're doing
iconic
cooking classes,
Betty,
numerous art
yes.
classes,
How are you?
and great art instructors. And I'm really excited. We have a
I
video
can't hear
editing
you.
class, which the older ones really enjoy. We also have a drum
You need
line.
to
Of
unmute
course, we have drum line, right? And we're putting together a new dance line. So I'm excited about things that are happening as well. We have classes that they're educational. We're not just a drop-off camp, but we really educate our young people.
Let me pull
as
you down
it relates to
and
the
pull you
music,
back up.
and they also take guitar and violin lessons. They must learn how to read the music. And so this puts us miles ahead of a
I
lot of the
can't
camps that
unmute
do that.
you.
They're just summer camps. But I'm very
Okay,
proud of what
I'm
we're
unable
doing.
to
We have
unmute
wonderful
you. You'll have to
instructors.
do it. But in
And
the meantime,
over, I
let
think
me
half
play
of our
another
students
video
are
while
students
you're
that grew up
doing
in our
that.
program, and I'm very excited
I'm
about that. And you'll be hearing more about that.
Okay, great.
But
And
this
you
is
know
what
what?
Enrichment is
On
2023
my
Fine Arts Summer
YouTube,
Camp.
the video is actually playing, but it's not playing here on my screen.
Oh, okay. Huh.
So, I don't know what's going on with that, but it's actually playing on YouTube, so I'm going to let it go ahead and play. Okay.
All right,
Now,
that'll work.
okay. So it's over. And now what I want to do is share with our audience. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Betty is 84 years old. And so Needless to say, her career spans across 84 years. So it would take the whole show to share everything about her. So I'm just going to give a synopsis of who Betty Smith is. And I am going to start with she was employed by the Catholic Charities of the Archdiocese of Chicago for 28 years, where she created programs for youth and families. Her biggest accomplishment was founding a recovery home for women and women with children recovering from drugs and alcohol. She named this program Forever Free. Now, the thread behind Miss Betty Smith is founder. She has been the founder of so many things. She founded the Joyful Noise Christian Entertainment Center and Stretchnastics Aerobic Exercise Studio. During this time, she recorded Do Your Heart a Favor, a Christian aerobics album. Now, in 1998, she married Reverend Mark Smith, and she moved to Canton. In 1999, she founded Multi-Development Services of Stark County, MDS, where she created programs for women with children, homeless shelters, transitional housing, parenting classes, food pantries, and a neighborhood revitalization program. She founded and produced Canton Idol 2003 to 2016, Gospel Joint Symphony 2005, 2008, 2013 through 2015, and is coming back. She also founded the Downtown New Zone Festivals from 2005 to 2008, and is a television host on Track with Betty Mack on Channel 15 from 2000 to, you still doing that?
No, I stopped in 2020.
Okay.
20 years I did it.
Oh my goodness. And then now check this out. Betty retired from MDS in 2009.
Yeah.
But she wasn't finished. God still had a plan for her, and he still had to work for her. So in 2012, Betty co-founded and became the executive director for Enrichment, a not-for-profit program that provides, listen to this clearly, free music lessons, education, instruments, training, art, choir, dance, music theater, horticulture, TV production, graphic design, and drumline to underserved urban youth ages 5 to 18. Now, I'm stopping with her bio there because we want to talk about enrichment and what she's doing. And what she's doing is absolutely awesome. I saw on YouTube that the video was playing, but it wasn't playing on the platform. So I don't know what that's all about. But we have several videos that I really want to share with you. And before we even start talking, let me see if this one is going to air.
I am enrichment. I am healthy, talented, smart.
Maybe if I pull us down. Well, okay, it's showing again on YouTube. So I'm going to let it go ahead and show there.
Wednesdays, we have the 5 to 8 year olds, and they're in the garden, and they're doing cooking classes, numerous art classes, and great art instructors, and I'm really, really excited. We have a video editing class, which the older ones really, really enjoy. We also have a drum line. Of course, we have drum line, right? And we're putting together a new dance line, so I'm excited about things that are happening as well. We have classes that they're educational. We're not just a drop-off camp, but we really educate our young people as it relates to the music, and they also take guitar and violin lessons. They must learn how to read the music. And so this puts us miles ahead of a lot of the camps that don't do that. They're just summer camps. But I'm very proud of what we're doing. We have wonderful instructors, and I think half of our students are students that grew up in our program, and I'm very excited about that. And you'll be hearing more about that. But this is what Enrichment is 2023 Fine Arts Summer Camp.
So awesome. We're talking about enrichment, enjoying richness of music, education, nutrition, nurturing, and training. Yes, enrichment. And I love the word enjoying,
Yes.
joy,
That's right.
joy. And now you moved from here,
Yes.
and now you're here,
Yes.
and we have a virtual tour that we can take of this facility. So I am going to pull that up, and hopefully it's
Show.
both places. Okay, and yes, it is. Okay, and let me start it from the beginning. Come on. Okay, there we go. Oh, wow, look at that kitchen. Wow.
Come on. Bio art.
Wow. What is that? Bio art?
Bio art. Biology and art.
That's the dance video.
That's the small one. Timpani drum.
And that's the other one.
That's the large dance studio. With a field. Tumbling.
Wow, that is just amazing. Absolutely amazing. And the
Yes.
kicker is, I remember you and we thought we were going to get this major grant
Right.
to do
And we
some
still might.
major, and we still might, to do some major things. And so at that point in time, I was here in Canton visiting, and we decided to go and look for buildings, right?
Right.
We were looking at buildings.
That's right.
But you know what? Nothing can compare to what God has given you.
That's exactly right.
Nothing can
Nothing.
compare.
That's right. This is
And
all about God. He did this. Yeah.
I'm going to give you the floor, and I'm going to give you an opportunity to talk about your journey
Mhm.
and how the Lord has kept you,
Mhm.
how he has strengthened you, how he has enabled you to live your purpose
Yes.
and your passion. So I'm going to give you the floor and let you, and also because my work is with parents and children, I often ask my guests to kind of share, what was your childhood like, and how did it
Mhm.
impact you,
Okay.
and how did it drive you to
Mhm.
be the wonderful, awesome person that you are today?
Well, thank you so much, Vera. I appreciate being on your show and able to share. I always like to share about the goodness of God. And starting with my childhood, when my mom, she became a widow at the age of 28 with 7 children. And, but she just kept us together and in love. And 5 years later, the Lord blessed her with a wonderful husband and a stepfather for me. His name was Jewel, and he was just that. He was a jewel. And I loved playing the piano. I didn't know I was playing the piano, Vera, because my mother had a glass coffee table, and I used to take my fingernails and just clink on the glass. And I remember her saying, I've got to figure out a way to buy her a piano. And my mother was domestic. She cleaned houses for people and took care of their children. And so she got a couple extra jobs to buy me an upright piano, $50, but that was a lot of money then.
Mm-hmm.
And so she bought me this piano, and I learned to, start playing by ear. And she said, you need music lessons. So I went to take music lessons, and really, I said, Mother, I play for the church and they don't read music. She said, but I need you to learn how to read it. So I wish I'd stayed in music reading a little bit longer, but I can still read music, but not as good as I would like to be able to, but good enough to teach some of the classes at enrichment if I need to.
Yes.
So anyway, from there, playing with the church. So I learned to read the music plus play by ear. And I used to host parties for the kids. Now here I'm only 12, 13 years old.
Wow.
But God birthed something in me then. I was an organizer, and I worked with young people. I mean, kids that were my age and younger. And here I was just not even quite teenager. And I would always invite them to the house. I'd make up little cards and invite them to little parties at my mom's. And we'd be in the yard and we'd just hang out. We had great time. We'd take them to church. I formed a little church choir. And I called our group the Big Brothers and Big Sisters. I didn't even know there was such a group out there. And maybe at that time there wasn't. So I gathered all the kids in the neighborhood, and we just did things. And I always just loved playing school. When we'd be out for the summer, Vera, I would go home and have a little desk, and my mom said, what are you doing? I said, I'm having school. I'm playing teacher. Well, you know what? It was all of those things that I did growing up that led me into the things that I'm doing now. It led me into a job with administration and my first job I worked at was Montgomery Ward's. They don't even have that anymore. And I had to type. Well, I was a very good typist. I did typing and shorthand. And I typed envelopes all day, Vera. Thousands of envelopes. That's all I did wait a minute, an upright typewriter. Young people won't even understand that. No electric. No, it wasn't an electric typewriter. It was just upright. And I'm clinking away. And I was on, I had to type so many envelopes, every month. But anyway, that led from that. And then the church when I moved to Chicago, and the Lord sent me to the Lord knew exactly where I was supposed to be, because to make a long story short is that church and the minister that we eventually had to pastor the church. I was there before him, and we voted him in to be our pastor. And he became like my spiritual father. And my mother said, my daughter is young, take her under your wings, take care of her. He did. I learned so much about community organizing, about churches. He said, Betty, I'm going to build our church with music. So he started sending young people to school to learn how to play the trumpet and learn how to play the saxophone. And he built himself an orchestra. And then he would hire in strings from, it's a strings group called Sinfonietta, Chicago Sinfonietta. And we did that. And I became the first female on the board at the church. And I was the secretary of the board. And I tell you, the church went from less than 100 members to 25,000.
Oh
members.
my God.
Apostolic Church of God under the leadership of Bishop Dr. Arthur M. Brasher, who passed away in 2010. His son now has the church, and I'm still very connected with the church and with him. But I learned so much from Bishop Brasher. And I remember when I told him I was getting married and moving to Canton, he said, Betty, you've been in training with me for 40 years for Canton. And Vera, I said, oh, no, Bishop, I'm retired. I retired. I was 55 years old. I retired from Catholic Charities after 28 years. He said, oh, I'll give you a few years. But I tell you, Vera, when I got here in 1998, I was in church and the Lord spoke to me. You can't retire. There's too much work to do.
Yes.
I didn't even know where I was. I said, honey, what neighborhood am I in? Where am I? He said, yeah, there's a school down the street. It was the Summit School was down the street. And it wasn't the Arts Academy then. It was just Summit School. So I met up with a lady named Darlene, and she was running something called Hammer and Nails. She started this program, Hammer and Nails, and she said, well, I really need some money, but I don't know how to write a grant. I said, well, I don't either. I've never written one. I said, but I did do some research, and you have foundations here. So Vera, I wrote my first grant, and we got it funded. And I said, Darlene, now it was like $2,000, right? So that got her started. And I said, Darlene, all you do is write from your heart. The grants in those days were pretty easy to write.
Mm-hmm.
They're not like they are now.
Right.
And so then Darlene started writing them. And then I started, writing grants for my multi-development services of Stark County. And I did not know these people in Canton. I didn't know the foundations, but I tell you, the Lord began to bless me immensely. The money started coming in. In 1 year, I had 5 paid for buildings. Wow. I had an after school program where my office was. In fact, Vera, it was my husband's church. And he told me to start working in the back of the church. And then about a year later, the landlord said, I want to sell the church. And my husband said, it's too small. He said, but my wife is doing some work here, so talk to her. Well, long story short on that, the Hoover Foundation bought the building for me.
Oh my God.
They bought that building. You know what? It's on the corner of 7th and Fulton Road. Project Rebuild is in that building now.
Oh,
and
wow.
So that's where I started. I had an after-school program called the Life Program, Living in a Free Environment. We had 50 kids that came after school every day. We had a choir. We ended up having in the summer, we had soccer. We did swimming. We had theater. Some of the stuff I'm doing now. We did that, when I had multi-development services. But we also work with mothers and children. I had a shelter. I had a transitional house. And then I had a home that if the mothers would go through the shelter and then in transitional, they could move into that home. It was beautiful. It's still right on the 7th and it's on 8th and Fulton Road. And it's one of these old homes with the sliding doors and the wood stained floors and the stained glass. It was just beautiful. So I moved a family in there and they stayed in there for 2 years. So we found them their own home. So it was a process of being homeless, going into the shelter, going into transitional housing, and then into that home. Then you get your own apartment. And see, I did something similar to that when I was in Chicago with Forever Free, the recovery home. So that's where my base started. See, and God knew I was going to do that when I came to Canton. So he set it up for me in Chicago. Yeah. And I just brought it here. And, one thing just led to another. But I did that for 10 years. And then, I burned myself out, Vera. I worked too hard. I was working 75, 80 hours a week. It was too much. But when you're a small not-for-profit and you're struggling financially and you want these programs. And so I was wearing all these hats and I didn't have money to hire staff. And it was too much. So for like 3 years, Vera, I was just trying to get well and let my body heal. And after that 3rd year in 2012, I'll never forget, the Lord took me out of retirement again. He said, time to go back to work. And that's when enrichment came in. It was like music, free music. And I'm like, free music. Okay, classes. I could do that. So I called 3 friends of mine Samson Toe, Raylena Dalheimer, and her mother, Bev Bevington. They were all musicians in college or doing something with music. Well, we started in Richmond, and the first 3 months, we outgrew the space where I was, which was at my husband's church. We had 40 some kids, and my husband had a small church, so we outgrew it. Then we went to a big church on shore. The church is now torn down. After being there 2.5 years, the pastor said, Betty, our congregation is shrinking. We need to sell the building. They wanted me to buy it. It was too big. And the foundation says, no, we can't support that. It's too big. Then a gentleman named Rob Hankins came to me and said, Betty, Arts and Stark has a small church, and maybe you can use it. So I went there, and that 10th and 14, there it is, right there, 1014 Cleveland Avenue. We were there for 8 years, and then I knew that we were going to have to move. So the Lord put a gentleman in my life by the name of Ted Swaldo. I didn't know who he was when I reached out to him. Somebody just said, contact him. And I did, and he came and met with me at that church that you just saw, that building. And he wanted to know, did I know anything about him? And Vera, I didn't know him. I didn't do my homework. And when he started telling me who he was, I'm like, oh, Gervasi Vineyards? I said, my husband and I go to your restaurant in Green. That's our date night on Fridays. That was a Twisted Olive. And Vera, I was just speechless. And I didn't want to show, how embarrassed I was that I didn't know all this. And then he started talking about the Bluecoats. He said he revived the Bluecoats years ago when his son was a Bluecoat. And he said they were just a struggling drum corps. He said, I work with kids like the ones you work with. He said, I had a yellow school bus. I pick them up. I take them home. I listen to their stories. He said, my wife would cook meals. And I'm like, wow. He says, I need to help you. Now, Vera, that was in 2015.
Wow.
But you see, the Lord had a bigger plan.
Yes.
Because he knew I was going to need a building later, and he knew Mr. Ted Swaldo would make that happen. So when I talked to Mr. Swaldo in 2022, I said, I'm going to need a building because they're going to tear this one down and we won't have anywhere to go. He said, let me see what I can do. And before that, Vera, I had looked at so many buildings. I looked at so many places. The city tried to help me. Steve Kuhn tried to help me. And it just wasn't right because I told the Lord, I need one story and lots of windows. None of those fit the bill, except there was one. And I thought I had it, but that didn't work out. But the one that we're in now that Mr. Swaldo found, which is the old Ziegler Tire building on 9th and Market, I said, Lord, this is it. This is what I asked for. But there, it was much more than what I asked for. You saw that video.
Yeah.
I told Mr. Swaldo I needed a kitchen because I said, after school, I want to feed the children a full dinner, not a snack. And he says, well, I know a little bit about kitchens. So let me see what I could come up with. So you saw that kitchen, right?
Yes.
It's just when people come in to tour, they're blown away by all of the rooms, the big art rooms, the small dance studio, the large dance studio. And, even to this, in this day, and even though we've been in there not quite a year, I just almost want to weep. I say, Lord, look what you've done.
Yeah.
You did exceedingly and abundantly more than I could ever ask or think.
Wow.
And he did that. And I give him all the praise, the glory, and the honor. And I tell you, the children are so happy. Sometimes the buses bus kids into me as well as parents drop them off. They're so excited to get into the dining room and to eat this nice hot meal. And we give them salad. We give them fruit. And I have a vegan chef. So sometimes they're eating vegan food. They don't even know it. It tastes good. Oh, yeah. She even made
how did you find your chef?
You know what? My dear friend, Adrian Chavers, you probably know Adrian.
Yes,
She's into the healthy, the raw-licious and stuff.
Yeah.
It's her cousin. And her name is Carol Talbert. And she's just wonderful. She's just, the kids, they'll say, what is this? And she doesn't tell them what's in it. Sometimes like this tofu and stuff like that. And they're just so happy and they eat it. And they love fruit and they love salad. And that's sometimes you can't get. Today they had broccoli and they ate the broccoli. She'll make pasta dishes and things that are nutritional, but very filling. So after the kids eat, they do homework. We help them with homework. And then after that, they go to class. Well, they're so happy. So we have those kids until 6:00 and they come as early as 3.
It is beautiful.
I tell you, it's such a blessing to watch those children. I stand at the door when I can and watch them get off the bus, and they're just happy to be there. And I sit at the
Wow.
table and listen to their conversations. And, a number of the children are still suffering because of COVID. And, the social skills aren't where they need to be. They're behind in some of their work. Some of our kids are 9, 10, can't read. So we're trying to help them with their reading and do whatever we can to partner with the schools to make the life better for the kids. And we have a lot of children that, they have some of the children are autistic. They have behavior issues, ADD, ADHD. So I have a behavior specialist, that will come in and work with the children and the parents. And the parents ask for help too. They need counseling just like the children do.
Yes.
We work with ACEs, adverse childhood experience, and the kids, staff is trained to do that. We've had trauma-informed training for our staff. We have to be able to deal with the children and meet them where they are. It's
Absolutely.
so important. So we do all these wraparound services. We're much more than music. We're much more than the arts. We're family.
Yes.
We surround our kids with love and with prayer and whatever their families need, housing, counseling, food, clothing. They need all of that. We need, Vera, I could go on and on. It's just so much.
And oh my God. And I have questions that I want to ask you. And as you were talking, I was thinking about them, but I have senior moments,
Hey, don't we both?
But one of the things, like these children, I wanted to ask you, how many children do you currently have?
Well, after school, we average about 65 each on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And then on Saturdays, we have them all day from 10 in the morning till sometimes up to 5. And we'll have 80 or 90. But our biggest group is in the summer camp. And this summer, we're anticipating maybe 250 in summer camp.
I want to be a part of your summer camp. I want to be a part of your
work that out.
We do got to work it out.
Yeah.
And you just have all these programs now. Where do you get the food that you provide the children?
We work with the Canton Food Bank, and then we had a major grant from Employers Health. I really just wrote a couple pages and just poured out my heart about how we needed funding to run our new kitchen. And Vera, they gave me a check for $81,200 to run my kitchen. And they're going to give me more next year. You talking about God, that's a blessing.
I could sit here and cry.
Yeah.
Because I know the love that you have poured into the work that you do.
Yes.
And I know the faith that you have.
Right.
That you don't worry. You know that God is going to work it out.
Vera, you know what? I have never started a program with money. I've never had money. All those programs I talked about, I never had money. I had a vision, and God then made the provision for my vision to come to light. And I started a project renovating one of those houses I told you I got when I first came here. I didn't have any money. I hired a contractor and everything. And my staff said, Miss Betty, do you have I said, no, but he'll come. Vera, the check came the day the bill was given to me.
Oh my God.
I kid you not. I said, now this is not your normal way to do business, but this is how I operate. Everybody can't operate like that. I operate on faith.
But faith is the substance of things hoped for.
There you go.
The evidence
of things not seen.
Yeah.
And every day, I'm telling you, that's the way I go. And I get something and I say, Lord, I really need this. And Lord, this is something I really need. So I need you to provide it. So I just go out and get it. And the money comes. The money comes. It does. And I've asked the Lord for a big amount. And I know he's going to give it to me because there's some things I need to do in the program. There are more staff I need. I need programs like what you do. And we need to have funding to bring these different kinds of things into the children. I like to expose them to different things that they've never done before.
Yeah.
And we've got a garden, on the corner of 7th and Fulton Road. In fact, it's right across the street from where my husband's church used to be, where I first started.
Oh my goodness. Tell me about the garden.
Yes, the garden is on the corner of 7th and Fulton Road. And we've had that garden, I'd say 6 years, maybe 7 years. And the children, I tell you, my autistic children and children with behavior problems love the garden. They love the dirt. They love to be in nature. We have butterfly garden.
Yes.
And it's wonderful. But Vera, I need a garden teacher for the summer. But it takes a lot to maintain that garden. And even when the kids aren't there, the garden has to be kept up. It has to be mowed, it has to be weeded. It's a lot of work. So I'm thinking that I might give up the vegetable part of it and just we've got all kinds of beautiful flowers and bushes and let it be there. And then I want to do a container garden maybe.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to say, with the food shortages, with the food deserts that we have,
right,
and with with FDA, we're not knowing what's being put in our food.
That's right.
You know, gardening is what all of us need to be doing.
You're right.
And those containers, you can put those containers inside and grow.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. So we're thinking about, we might just do a container garden, and we can do that around our new building on the outside.
Yeah,
we can do that. And then there's a park next door, and I might ask Arts and Stark if we could even put some containers there so the kids would be right next door. See, the way it is now, we have to bus the kids to the garden, you know, because it's on 7th and Fulton, and we're on 9th and Market. So if I did the container gardens, we would be right there. You know, the water is there and everything.
Yes.
It's easier to do.
Yes. And not only that, with them being container gardens, in the wintertime, you can still grow fruits and vegetables inside the facility.
Yeah. And you know, we do have we have a grow kit in the winter. We can't do a lot because it's small. So we're trying to branch out into something that's bigger where we can grow food on the inside. So we're working on a proposal to make that happen now. But the kids love the garden. And like you say, you know, we got so many food deserts, and people are, you know, they need food, and food's expensive.
Very much so.
A lot of people need to get a garden, right?
I was getting ready to say, before you know it, all of us may have a garden.
Hey,
but
you know what? But dear, we're going back to the roots.
Yes,
that's
we'll
right.
be healthier.
We'll be, because growing up, we had a garden. And we had some fruit trees also. But I remember my mother used to go out and pick dandelion greens. And we would eat those. She would boil them and pick them up. And I said, whoa, these are good. And then I found out that, you know, we drank the juice. They called it pot liquor. And we would drink the juice from the greens and make cornbread. And that was a good meal. And she'd just go out in the yard and just pick it.
And
we did rhubarb.
And how healthy. So that is so healthy. I wanted to come back to the autism, because when I was in Kentucky, I worked with a Saturday program, and there was a little girl that was autistic and nonverbal. Nonverbal.
Yes, we have some of those. Yes.
But yet the way the other kids communicated with her and rallied around her and showed her love and support, the arts can really help with autism. And before, I was in Kentucky for 7 years. Oh, wow. I saw this little girl for that whole time, because as soon as I moved to Kentucky, I met the woman that was over the program and got involved.
Right.
But when I got ready to leave Lexington, there was a festival, an art festival in the park. And this little girl came up to me and she said, "Hi, Miss Vera." Wow. This was a child that never talked.
Never spoke. Wow.
Never spoke. And I am convinced that being involved with the arts and her mother just putting her around other kids and socializing, and that helped her so much.
Oh, I believe
this little girl could talk.
I'm telling you.
And she was nonverbal. Kids had to communicate with her by writing.
Yes, I hear you.
And
I've seen wonders happening in Richmond. We have one young man.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it is. This one young man's autistic, and his grandfather says he just kind of stays to himself. You know, he doesn't interact with the family and anything. And he says, and then I sent him to enrichment, and he loved the drums. And Vera, this young man has developed such a skill with the drums. And we had him in a concert, and his grandfather took a video and sent it to all the family members that didn't even live here in Canton. He said they were in amazement. They said, "Is that him? He's playing those." Oh, he's so good.
And that's the other thing.
He's a different kid.
That's the other thing. You said that your mother saw you tapping on
Yeah.
the table like you were
Yes.
playing the piano.
Yes.
She recognized.
Yes. She did.
She and
She did.
and the thing is, parents, you
Mhm.
can recognize the gifts and talents and passions that your children have at an early age.
Right. That's exactly
At
right.
an
'Cause
early age.
yes, yes. And I tell you, some of the parents think their children don't have any kind of talent, artistic. And then when they see the picture they've drawn, or they see them playing an instrument or dancing, they say, "Wow, is that my
And,
kid?"
and more
It's
parents need to
phenomenal.
be aware. I mean,
Yes, yes,
that's where my heart is. I want
right.
parents to
Yeah,
understand
yes,
what they can do. I mean, a parent is a child's first teacher.
that's right. That's
And
exactly
but
right.
we also have to recognize that 2/3, this is staggering,
Mhm.
2/3 of adults who have unresolved issues,
Mm.
those issues stem from their childhood.
Yes, that's why
And
we do this adverse childhood. That's why we have the ACEs class. Yeah, the
you know,
experiences that they go through in childhood, it carries over to
right,
adulthood.
right, it carries over, but also
Yes,
what's going on in that home?
there you go. That's right.
Because I mean, you with all the enrichment and all the stuff that
Mhm,
you're doing,
mhm.
if parents are not on board,
They have to be. And
they
Vera,
have to
sometimes
be.
it's difficult. The parents are getting a lot better. I'll say that because we try to stay in touch with them, and they have to come in and bring their child in if they're not on the bus. But even if they're on the bus, they have to pick their child up. We tell them you must come in. We need to know who you are. Don't sit in your car and then wait for the child. No, get out of your
Absolutely.
car, come in, let's have a little conversation. Maybe you can see a little something if they drew something and give you a little artwork or something. So now we're getting to know the parents. But it was like
Yes,
EMT sometime to get them to do that.
I
And
know,
now
but
they're happy that they do,
yes, and it's so
interacting with their children.
important.
Yeah, it's
It's
very
so
important.
important. And I
Yes.
mean, and so what you're doing, it's just phenomenal. Now, my other question is, you're 84 years old,
Yes, ma'am.
and I hope that you're here until you're 184.
Thank you. Only God, He knows.
Yes. So 10, 15, 20 years down the line, what happens to enrichment? Do you have a succession plan?
Yes, we're working on that as we speak. We have a strategic planning session coming up on Monday, and that's part of it, is to come up with a succession plan so that we want someone to shadow me for maybe a year so they can get a feel for what goes on in enrichment, because there's so many layers to
Yes,
enrichment. But they're going to have a passion for the children.
yes,
That's number one, passion for the
yes,
children. And hopefully some experience of working with children
yes,
of diverse backgrounds and
yes.
children that are ADD, ADHD, because we have them. Today we had two children that came in and they were just angry. They were just angry, and they didn't want to take their coats off. And so they know that the drill is you come in, you take your coat off, sit at the table, get ready to eat. And they were just defiant. They were not going to do it. But as God would have it, I met a lady just yesterday. Her name is Lucille Howell.
I know her.
I
Yeah,
tell you,
I saw her yesterday too.
you're kidding. Vera, I never met her. Thomas West told me
Yes.
to call her. And we talked for 40 minutes. And she said,
Wow.
I'm 82 and I'm kind of complacent. I'm just sitting at home and I don't do it. He said, well, time she finished, I said, I tell you what, you're coming to enrichment and you're going to interact with the kids.
And she will love it.
Vera, she came today. Those two children I was telling you I was having problems with, she sat at the table with them. She won them over. And next thing I know, the girl's smiling, the little boy's smiling. They didn't want to eat. He got up, he ate. And then she came over and started talking to me. And I'm like, oh, she's a different child. I said, Lucille, what did you do? She said, I talked about them. I talked about their coats and why they had their coats on. And then I started helping them with their homework. She was just wonderful. And then she went and got her food tray and ate with them. And that's what we need. We need, I like that intergenerational thing because she was like a grandmother
And
figure
you
to
know
them,
what? Yes, I would like to be involved in you having a dinner
Okay.
for the parents and their children.
Oh yeah, that would be great.
And
That would be great.
I have a presentation I would like to make
Okay.
with the parents and their kids, because they both need, it's for both of them.
Yes.
And
Well,
if we
you know
could
what?
do a dinner.
Well, Vera, once a month, we have what we call family fun night. And the
Okay.
parents come out with the children and we do different things. We have a cooking class. We have a line dance. We do exercise. The drums play. We do an art class. So that might be a perfect setting, to do something there because the parents and the kids are there.
Well, we'll talk about that.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Oh man, that would be awesome. That would be
Yes.
awesome. Now, we know you and I had talked about organizing a senior choir.
Yes.
And you and I had conversation about
Right.
it.
Yes, we worked it out.
Yeah, we worked it out. We worked it out, because we've been friends forever.
Right.
I love you dearly.
Right.
I love you dearly.
And the feeling is mutual.
And I know you've got gospel. Oh, okay.
Gospel Joint Symphony.
Yes, I'm getting ready to pull that up.
Yes.
And we're going to talk about that. And I want to be a part of that as well.
Good.
And
That's
here
wonderful.
it is. Okay, Gospel Joint Symphony. Now, when is the one this
Now
year?
that's this last year.
Right. Do you have the flyer yet for this year?
I just got it from the symphony today. I'll have to send it to you. I got it from them today. And we have a conductor coming from Wilberforce. He used to be over the Wilberforce choir.
Okay.
Now he has his own group. His name is Jeremy. And Jeremy is going to come in and he's going to bring 25 members of his group. Then we're going to add them to our group. So hopefully we're going to get 25, 30 or more to have this choir to sing with that orchestra. With the symphony orchestra.
You'll have more than 30.
I hope so. Yes.
You'll have more than 30. Those of you that are out here listening and you live in Canton, Ohio, and you can sing,
yes,
you need to join the symphony. And if you are 55 and over, you need to join the Urban League Choir.
Yes.
Because the Urban League Choir is also going to participate in the Gospel Joint Symphony Choir.
Yes, that'll be wonderful.
So I'm excited about that.
Yes,
and
that's good.
We want to get I know you have things that seniors do in your enrichment program.
Well, Vera, I need to talk to you because maybe we can collaborate on some things for seniors because we have a number of senior buildings around enrichment. And I thought during the day, maybe they could come in and we could fix them some food and they could play cards or they could play bingo or just something to get them out of those buildings. And
that would be wonderful.
Yeah.
One of the reasons that I want to develop this choir and also a senior dance troupe.
Yeah.
The reason I want to do that is because, one, to get them out of the house to do something, but also to serve other seniors.
Right.
And go into the different facilities and, and sing and uplift them.
Yes, they need that. When I was talking to Lucille, she said a lot of seniors just call her. They're all at home and they just sit at home. She said, like Miss Betty, she said, I'm glad you called me. I want to get out of the house. And she came down and she stayed for 2.5 hours.
Yes.
And she said, I had such a good time. And Vera, when I took her into the dance studio, she saw those mirrors and she just started dancing all around the floor. And then I took her to the drumline room and she started beating on the drums. She's
a beautiful.
Yes. I don't know. Did you know about the cadets they used to have?
Yes. As a matter of fact, Thomas pulled me in to help her with this reunion that she wants to have.
He was talking about that.
So
I think that's wonderful.
Yeah. So
when she saw the drums, it took her back in time to when she had the drums, and then she had the baton twirlers, and she was just I'm posting on. I told her, I'm putting you on TV and show on Facebook. And showed her, I thought she had, and she lit up. She was just joyful.
Yes, and what would be beautiful is the cadets, they do their thing.
Yes.
But then the kids, come in with them.
Right. I think that would be awesome.
Oh,
It would be
we're
awesome.
okay. That's what we're going to plan. I
Right.
know we're having a meeting here right now.
We sure are. But maybe there's somebody watching that would like to be a part of this.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Check out Betty. As a matter of fact, what's the phone number at
Enrichment? It's 330.
Wait, hold on a minute. Let me go because I have the enrichment
website.
Well, Facebook.
Oh, Facebook. Okay.
Okay, wait. I thought I put it in here. Okay, let me do it again. Okay.
Okay. It's 330.
Wait. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, 330
546
546
7724.
7724.
Mm-hmm.
And your website?
The website is enrichment.org, but you have to put the dashes in.
Right.
-RICH.
And it's capital E in.
No, it doesn't have to be for the website. It can be all lowercase. Enrichment.org. We're on Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok. We're on all social media outlets. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Betty, I just think the world of you. And I think, what you're doing, and you inspire. You inspire. And to be 84 years old and not ashamed to tell your age.
Oh, no. Vera, in May, I'm going to be 85. In the whole month of May, we're going to celebrate, and we're calling it a Taste of Enrichment, and we're having different chefs come in and cook, and they're going to do a fundraiser because I'm going to take the drum line to Chicago this summer. So I'm helping them raise the money for their trip. So I said, my birthday month, the money's going to go to help you with your trip. And so I've already got about 3 chefs lined up. And then I'm waiting on 2 more to confirm. So it's going to be a whole month of May, and I'll get the information out and I'll send it to you on social media.
Yes.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
85.
My 85. Yes, God is good.
May what?
Yes. May 9th. That's my
Okay.
day.
Wow.
And May 9th is when we're going to have, you might know Steve Beatty and Demond, Germany, who has Scratch Steakhouse in Louisville. And the lady named Gina, she has something called Heritage Bistro. I just found out they all went to the same culinary arts school.
Oh, really?
I didn't even know it. And they're planning something separate with me. And it's like, why don't we do it together? And I said, Gina, she said, we all went to school together. I said, that's a story. Yeah, that's a story.
So you're going to have a dinner at Enrichment.
Yes.
Now, how often are you going to do it?
Well, they're going to cook one night. The next day, they're going to have a youth cook-off, and they're going to be the judges. So we'll get that out. And then I'm hoping that Gervasi will come in and a couple more restaurants. And any date they want to pick in May, and then we'll advertise it, and people will pay a small fee to eat and enjoy these chefs and interact with the chefs.
Oh, that is so awesome.
Yeah, Taste of Enrichment.
I love it.
The whole month of May. Yes.
That is so awesome.
Now, Canton Idol is also in May. That's May the 17th at the Cultural Center.
Now, tell me about Canton Idol.
Yes, Canton Idol. I did Canton Idol, I think, for about 15 years. And then I stopped it when the pandemic hit because we couldn't get into facilities and things like that. So now a lot of people said, well, can you bring it back? Bring it back. So I finally said, okay, this year, we're going to bring back Canton Idol. So March the 2nd, we're having auditions at Enrichment starting at 10 in the morning.
Okay.
And it's on the website.
This is for all ages?
All ages, starting with age 10. And I'm encouraging seniors because, when I used to have Canton Idol, some of my seniors were good. And of course, they had their categories then. This year, we're just doing like American Idol. And it's just, all ages, and you compete against one another. We're going to try that this year. But I've had some seniors already said, oh, yeah, I'm signing up. I'm going to sing.
Can I suggest that you consider the categories? I'm just suggesting.
Well, we used to have it that way. And the reason we decided to do this, it's a lot of time. we had 4 different age categories, and Vera, the time consuming, the judges,
Elementary, juniors, high school.
yeah, and seniors. So I said, well, with American Idol, they put them all together. Whether you're 16 or they go up to like what, age 30 though.
Yeah.
Whether you're 16 or 30, you compete. And maybe we should have done the 13 to maybe 30, 35, and then did 35 and over. We might have been able, maybe we should have done 2 age groups, and maybe I can still take that back to the group.
Yeah.
And see if we can do that, you know.
Yeah. Because you're gonna have little kids, you're gonna have
they have to be, no, I think it's age 13.
13
and up. 13 and up, teenagers. 13 and up. And I went back and looked at some old pictures, and I don't know if you remember Lovely Sumlin. She was one of my winners. One of my seniors was Nada Johnson, and she sang Georgia Daniels. Those are my seniors, and they won in their category. They were good.
Awesome. Okay. All right. Maybe I'll compete with poetry or something.
Yeah. Well, no, it has to be singing.
Oh.
It has. Vera, you can sing.
I don't know if I want to try to compete though.
Well, but you know, you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. Oh, that's right.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. And are you only having one day of audition?
No, there's 2, and they're Sundays, March the 2nd and March the 9th, and they're different times: 10 to 11, 1 to 3, 4 to 6. So people can pick. If you go to church, and you come at a later time.
I can't believe it's almost over.
Oh, is it? You talk that much? Well, you know, Vera, we both can talk.
I can't believe
especially when it's something you enjoy.
Yes, but we've given some really good nuggets here.
Yes,
you know, for parents to recognize, be observant to the things your children are doing around the house. You know, if they're constantly beating on things, they need to be in the drum.
That's right.
If they're always dancing, they need to come to enrichment.
That's right.
If they love to cook,
yes,
you need to have them come to enrichment.
Right.
If they enjoy, and also I wanted to talk to you about your podcasters. You have a broadcast.
Well, no, we're getting ready to bring it back. We used to have it. John P. came and talked to kids about podcasts. But we have a media room at Enrichment. So now we're going to restore our YouTube Enrichment Network, and the kids are going to run that.
Awesome.
So we're going to get that started, I would say probably within the next 30 to 60 days.
And I would love to have some of your kids co-host with me.
Oh, that would be wonderful.
To give them
I can think of a couple things right off the top would be good.
That would give them some experience.
Yes.
I would like to have them come on as guests first.
Yes.
And then
that would, I like that. That would be great.
Okay,
yes.
Then we'll do it. We'll
make that happen.
Yes. I'm so glad you were here tonight. I am so glad. And I know you are busy, and I know that, you know.
It's okay.
I
took time. That's why I told you I was running late. I had an emergency thing with staff, and I had to do that. And but a lot of times I don't leave Enrichment till 7:30 in the evening. Wow. And then so like tomorrow, Monday, Wednesday, Thursdays, kids are there until 8:15, practicing for the drum line. Yeah, we have a steel band now, Vera. Wow. Oh, you've got to go to my Facebook page. They performed for the first time at Walsh University on Sunday. They were awesome.
Wow.
Steel band. Yes.
Let's see. It looks like we got a comment coming in. Yes, bring the youth out. Hey, Robinette. Thank you for being here. You and I need to talk, girl. Let me put you up here. Yes, bring the youth out. Yes, okay. Yes. I am so this has been great. You and I have been wanting to have a conversation.
Yes, well, this is good.
This is the conversation.
This is it. And we come up with a number of ways we can partner.
Yes.
All
well,
good.
Listen, I'm going to give you the floor. You got less than a minute.
Okay. Well, you know what, Vera, first of all, I want to thank you again for this opportunity. Anytime I can share about the goodness of the Lord and how the things he's done and blessed me with, I want to always do that. And I want you all to, like Vera said, pay attention to your children. All children have some kind of a talent deeply down within. Bring them to Enrichment. We'll find it. And it's good for them. It's good for discipline. We have a lot of core values that we live it to. And we teach the children about respect and about attitude, determine your altitude, and all those good things in Richard. We are much more than music. We're all about family, and we're all about you because we love you.
Yes, and I'm going to end. Actually, I think I'm going to end with this short video that I have, and we will see you all on Thursday. God bless you, and have a wonderful remaining week.
Enjoying the richness of music, education, nurturing, and training. Enrichment is a free fine arts program for youth ages 5 to 18 that offers much more than just music.
Okay, with that,
The